Senator, my understanding from the NTSB report is once the train hit the third detector, which showed that we hit the threshold, then the crew acted appropriately. However, the part had already failed. 15 minutes of video are available, time before, during, and immediately after the derailment. My understanding is we followed protocols.
Mr. Shaw, I asked you to answer the question I asked. Is it true the locomotive was very shortly thereafter put into service and the result was significant portions of the video were missing?
Senator, at some point after, and it sounds like it was shortly after it was put in service. I don't have the details. I'm happy to follow up.
This particular tank car, has Norfolk Southern examined whether it had triggered previous wayside detectors either on this train or in other circumstances?
Senator, I believe that's part of the NTSB investigation.
Has Norfolk Southern examined that? Do you know if it had triggered previous wayside detectors?
I am not aware that it did. Senator, I'm terribly sorry for the impact that this has had on the community, and I know that it's been traumatic. I was there during the vent and burn, and I saw this plume, and I know what it looked like. There's ongoing testing by the EPA, the Ohio EPA, and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. They all show that the air is safe and the water is safe to breathe. There's millions of data points. There is still enormous concern within the community about three long-term issues. One is long-term health care, one is about property valuations, as you noted, and one is ongoing water monitoring. And so Norfolk Southern is working with relevant stakeholders, which include state and local authorities, on setting up funds to cover all three of those. Our contributions to date are just the start, and what we're offering through the Family Assistance Center is that folks want to relocate, we will pay for the relocation fees. Our Family Assistance Center has been open since the day after the derailment.
So I want to understand you correctly. You're saying if a family in East Palestine wants to move, that Norfolk Southern will pay the cost of their moving, and will you also make them whole if they try to sell their house and they can get substantially less for it than they could have before this derailment?
What I'm saying is that they want to leave their house for a while. We will pay for those relocation fees, and we are working with relevant stakeholders in a long-term fund for the property value assurance.
So you'll put them up in a motel or hotel temporarily, but you're not assisting with moving? I just want to understand what you're doing right now.
Right now, we are putting them up in a hotel and paying for food and clothing if needed. And we're also working with relevant stakeholders on a long-term fund for property valuation.